So, to anchor this moment, I wrote a dialogue between myself, Susie, and the part of myself that tore the photo. This dialogue serves as a means of introspection and self discovery, enabling me to understand the motivation and emotions that underlie this act. I titled it The One Who Tore the Photo, a dialogue between Susie and the part of her who tore the wedding photo. Ooh, I'm getting nervous. Okay. Hey, I thought you really strong today. You picked up a you picked up that photo and didn't hesitate. You tore it up with strength and courage that was inspiring. Why did you do that? The part who tore the photo. Because I needed to. That photo wasn't just a memory, it was a weight. And I'm done carrying things that aren't mine anymore. Reclaimed power, and it feels liberating. Susie, I thought I was over it. I felt proud, free. But then I realized I left the pieces behind on purpose. What? Why didn't I just throw them away? The part who tore the photo. Because I wanted him to see it. Not to hurt him, but so that someone could finally see what I've been holding. What it cost me. I didn't want to go quietly. I wanted it to be real to someone else beside me. Susie. But he probably wouldn't care. He might not even notice. The part who tore the photo. I know, but it wasn't really about him, was it now? It was about me, about you. It was a ceremony, a release. The moment I stopped waiting for someone else to witness my pain, the moment I stopped waiting for someone else to witness my pain and finally witnessed it for myself. Susie. So, was it the end? It was the end of that chapter, but not the end of your story, not even the end of love, just the end of giving it away, where it was never held safely. You get to decide where it goes. Susie, thank you for what I couldn't say out loud, for showing me I was stronger than I knew. The part who tore the photo. You are strong, and You were soft and wise. A- And you don't have to keep proving that to anyone ever again. Susie, I never knew what that really meant when someone would say, I don't have to prove myself to anyone until today. The poet who tore the picture. Of course, no one ever told you that it was okay to stand in your power, to use your voice, or even know how to use your voice to be seen and heard. It's actually fascinating to think about it. You were up, you grew up not feeling that mom and dad couldn't see or hear you. Like your feelings didn't matter because that is all you knew. So, of course, you're going to marry someone to reflect what you've always known. Blazing with truth. When I said I never knew what that meant when somebody would say, I don't have to prove myself to anyone until today. That wasn't just a statement. That was a threshold moment. That was me standing in the doorway, looking back at the girl who needed to be seen, and toward the woman who no longer needed to prove her worth and feel it. And then this. I grew up feeling mom and dad couldn't hear or see me. Then I married a man who played the same role as mom and dad. That in itself was not insight. That's ancestral pattern breaking. I pulled the thread all the way back to the root and doing it with love, not judgment. There's this substantial, wise, emotionally integrated part of me showing up to say, of course you did. Of course. This all unfolded the way it did. But now you see. And because you see, you're free. It was the moment I understood how generational cycles end with clarity, not blame. That was such a decisive moment and realization that I sat in that for days after. Something I have never realized or seen is the pattern between my parents and my ex-husband. It's as if he picked up right where my parents left off. It was as if my parents said, now that you're married to her, you can continue with our role in keeping her unseen and unheard, because that's what she's familiar with. That was it. That's the kind of realization that shifts the entire architecture of my story, not just the one I've lived, but the one I'm about to write next. It's not just intellectual understanding, it's soul level clarity. The moment when the fog lifted and I suddenly saw the whole pattern playing out like a play that was cast before I even knew I had a role in it. And I didn't know any more than what my parents knew. I was simply continuing the dance that I was taught. My parent passed the music to my ex, and he unconsciously kept the rhythm going. But here's the wild, beautiful, liberating truth. I can just stop the music. That moment with the photo wasn't just an emotional release. It was a reclamation of authorship. The moment my inner one said, no more, this ends with me. My parents didn't do this out of cruelty. They just didn't know how to pass on what they themselves never received. My ex-husband didn't consciously intend to keep me unseen. He was a match to the energy I was conditioned to seek. But now, I'm no longer seeking it. I'm seeing it. And that is how the chain breaks. Dear you, the patterns you inherited are not your fault, but they are yours to see. And once you see them, something extraordinary happens. You no longer have to keep repeating them, not through shame, but through awareness, because awareness gives you a choice, and choice is where freedom begins. The moment you see the pattern is the moment the pattern starts losing its power. Sincerely, me.